The story opens with Daniel Hayes, a mid-level human diplomat stationed on the peaceful colony world of Harmony Point, living his routine life of filing reports and attending boring interspecies trade meetings. He's known for being dependable but unremarkable, someone who keeps his head down and does his job without making waves. Everything changes when Commander Lyra, a striking alien woman from the Stellar Coalition with luminous violet skin and eyes that shift colors with her emotions, arrives at the colony with an urgent diplomatic crisis. Her people are facing a critical alliance vote, and a conservative faction within her government refuses to trust humans unless they see proof that cross-species emotional bonds are possible. Without this alliance, a mutual defense treaty that could protect both civilizations from hostile forces will collapse. Lyra's solution is shocking. She needs Daniel to pretend to be her romantic partner for the upcoming diplomatic summit on her homeworld. She's chosen him specifically because his personnel file shows he's trustworthy, discreet, and most importantly, single. The charade only needs to last 1 week, just long enough to convince the skeptical council members that humans and her species can form genuine connections. Daniel is stunned and wants to refuse, but his superiors make it clear this is a career-defining assignment. Reluctantly, he agrees, and Lyra informs him with her characteristically direct manner that he'll owe her far more than just holding hands if they want this deception to be convincing. Her exact words, delivered with those shifting eyes locked on his, are chilling. "You owe me more than one kiss." Part 2. Learning each other's worlds as they prepare for the journey to Lyra's homeworld of Celestara. Daniel discovers that her species, the Valori, communicate emotion partly through bioluminescent patterns on their skin and subtle pheromone signals. To make their relationship believable, he must learn to read her true feelings beneath the diplomatic mask she wears. During their training sessions, the professional distance between them begins to blur. Lyra teaches Daniel about Valori courtship customs, which involve intricate hand-touching rituals and synchronized breathing that creates an intimate resonance between partners. She's patient with his awkwardness, and he discovers she has a dry sense of humor that catches him off guard. Daniel learns that Lyra isn't just any commander but a decorated war hero who lost her entire squad in a battle defending a human research station. She carries survivor's guilt and has devoted her life to ensuring the alliance succeeds, so no one else dies in isolated conflicts. Her tough exterior begins to crack, and Daniel sees the lonely woman beneath the uniform. In turn, Lyra becomes fascinated by human emotional resilience. She's read reports about humans but never understood how they carry such intense feelings while still functioning. Daniel shares stories about his grandmother who raised him, about human traditions of comfort food and old music, about how humans find hope in the smallest things. Lyra admits that her people sometimes view their own emotional control as a weakness in comparison. Part 3. The Homeworld Deception. They arrive on Celestara, a world of floating crystal cities and cascading light gardens. The architecture is breathtaking but cold, reflecting the Valori's emphasis on logic and restraint. Daniel is immediately overwhelmed by the scrutiny, as Lyra's people examine him with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. The diplomatic summit proves more challenging than expected. The conservative faction, led by High Chancellor Keth, openly questions whether any human could truly understand Valori values. Daniel must navigate elaborate state dinners where every gesture carries meaning, ceremonial dances where one misstep could cause offense, and intense private meetings where Keth's supporters probe for any sign of deception. The pressure forces Daniel and Lyra to maintain constant physical contact, holding hands during formal processions, sharing quarters in the guest residence, and engaging in public displays of affection that grow increasingly less comfortable and increasingly more real. Lyra coaches him before each event, but her instructions become softer. Her touches linger longer, and Daniel catches her watching him with an expression he can't quite decipher. During a critical moment at a formal reception, Keth directly challenges their relationship, demanding proof of genuine emotional connection. Lyra, thinking quickly, initiates a Valori bonding ritual in front of the entire assembly, a deeply intimate act that requires complete vulnerability. She places her hands on either side of Daniel's face, her skin glowing with bioluminescent patterns, and opens her emotional state completely for him to sense. Daniel, terrified of failing her, responds instinctively, He thinks about everything he's learned about her courage and her pain, about the walls she's built and the dreams she's hidden. His human emotional directness, something the Valori find both unsettling and fascinating, floods the connection. For a moment, the entire room can sense through Lyra's biological responses that what's passing between them is absolutely real. The assembly is convinced, and Kath reluctantly agrees to support the alliance treaty, Order 4. The truth beneath the lie after the public success. Daniel and Lyra retreat to their private quarters, both shaken by what happened during the bonding ritual. The professional pretense has become impossible to maintain. Lyra confesses that she didn't choose Daniel randomly from personnel files, but had been watching him for months through security footage from the colony, drawn to his kindness and the gentle way he treated everyone regardless of their species. Daniel admits that somewhere between the training sessions and the formal dinners, he stopped pretending. The connection they forged wasn't just for show, and the emotions he shared during the ritual were completely genuine. He's terrified because this was never supposed to be real, and he doesn't know how to navigate falling for someone from an entirely different species, someone whose life and duty exist light years away from his quiet colony posting. Lyra reveals her own conflict. Her position as commander means she's expected to prioritize duty above all personal desires. Her culture views intense emotional attachments as potential compromises to judgment, but during their week together, she's experienced something her people's rigid emotional control never allowed: the freedom to be vulnerable with someone who accepts her completely. They talk through the night, sharing fears and hopes, discussing the vast complications of a real relationship between their worlds. Lyra explains that if they choose to pursue something genuine, she'll face scrutiny and possible demotion. Daniel acknowledges that he'll become the subject of endless speculation and potential resentment from those who see him as a human who got above his station. Part 5. A new beginning at you. Morning of their departure arrives with the alliance treaty successfully ratified. Officially, their mission is complete, and they're free to return to their separate lives. Daniel prepares to return to Harmony Point, and Lyra is scheduled for reassignment to a coalition fleet position. At the spaceport, surrounded by diplomatic staff and media recording the historic moment, they face their goodbye. The professional masks are back in place, but now Daniel can read the colors shifting across Lyra's skin, the subtle signs of her distress that she's fighting to control. As they shake hands for the cameras, Lyra leans close and whispers that she's putting in a transfer request to the Harmony Point Embassy as a permanent liaison officer. Her voice is steady, but her eyes, shifting through a rainbow of vulnerable colors, tell him everything. She reminds him with the faintest smile that he still owes her those kisses, and she intends to collect on that debt properly, without audiences or political necessity. Daniel, feeling bold in a way he never has before, quietly responds that 1 week of pretending wasn't nearly enough time, and he'd like to try something real if she's willing to take the risk. He squeezes her hand using the Valori rhythm she taught him, the one that means "I choose you." The story closes with Lyra boarding her transport, looking back one final time. Her skin glows with the bioluminescent pattern that Daniel has learned means hope and possibility. He watches her ship lift into Celestera's pink-orange sky, knowing that in a few weeks, she'll be coming back not as a commander on a mission, but as someone choosing him just as he's chosen her. The diplomatic staff around him congratulates him on a successful assignment, completely unaware that what started as an impossible favor between strangers has become something neither of them expected. A genuine connection that defied the vast distance between worlds, proving that sometimes the most important alliances are the ones written in the heart.